Hello, Austin County. Today I am here with two of the ladies from the HOA Meals on Wheels of Austin County. I'd like to introduce you to Chairman of the Board, Carolyn Bilski, and Executive Director, Cookie Curry. Ladies, thank you so much for being with us today. Meals on Wheels, I know, is such an important thing, and I don't know that not a lot of people know exactly what it is, so we're counting on you ladies to give us all the skinny on it. So, are we ready?
We're ready.
All right. So, we'll start with a few easy questions and, correct me if I make a mistake. First thing we want to know is what exactly is Meals on Wheels and what is the mission of it? You know, people think, oh, we just bring hamburgers to people, but it's way more than that, I know.
Yes.
So, yes. What are we looking at?
We are looking at a program that is a nonprofit 501c3 program. We are a part of the Houston-Galveston Area on Aging, and we are a part of a 13-region program. Sealy is the hub for all of Austin County.
Oh, okay.
What we do is we provide hot, nutritious meals for our seniors, our veterans, and those over 50 plus. We also provide daily not only meals, but we provide a welfare check, communication, and just overall, how are you doing today type of services for our seniors who are homebound. And for those that can travel, they come in for our congregate program.
Okay, now that's here on the Free Deck Road, correct?
Yes, that's at 915 Free Deck Road here in Sealy.
Okay. And that's what the building looks like. You'll see the lovely little sign there. And we're going to put all this information at the end so everybody will be able to give you a call, give you an email, and all that good stuff, because we like to make sure people know what we're doing. All right. I kind of jumped ahead of myself a little bit. Here's our board of directors. These are all the wonderful people that you have to thank, really, for doing all of this, because this is not a paid position, is it?
It's a volunteer position.
Volunteer position. And, you know, we're all about the volunteers, because a lot of people, nobody sees the wheels behind the wheels. So that we want to say thank you. And then we have picture of them.
Our board of directors are from every city in the county.
Okay.
So everybody's represented on our board.
Okay. And make it a little bigger for me.
Oh, talk about
Make the picture a little bigger. Oh, thank you. I'm talking and not paying attention. Anyway, all right. Administrative staff. And then I'm going to shut my mouth and let y'all talk.
Well, these are the folks that actually keep things going. I mean, they are our paid staff, and they have no benefits. It is almost a volunteer job also, but they do get a little bit of money for their payment and for their work. And, unfortunately, we work from 8 to 2, and they do 40 hours worth of work in 30 hours every week.
Right.
And not only do they take care of all the accounting and the bookkeeping and all the reporting, because with the use of funds that are not only donated but government money, there's a lot of reporting, and you must be responsible with your reporting to continue to get the money. Otherwise, you would, not be eligible for any funding if you weren't doing everything right. So Cookie is the boss, so to speak. Each one has a different component. One works with the volunteers. One works more with the outreach. One orders the meals. They each have a different capacity that I feel like brings a great team together to serve our seniors.
All right. Takes a little bit of everything. All right. So simple question, I guess. How'd you guys get involved with Meals on Wheels?
I first started really knowing about it through my grandma Pruckup, who was on Meals on Wheels many, many years ago. And then Joe's mother was on Meals on Wheels when she lived at Silver Lake. And when I became county judge, the Episcopal minister at the time came to me and said, I'm leaving. I'm going on a new assignment. I would like for somebody from the county to get involved with Meals on Wheels and work with Buddy Chance. Well, that fit my category of interest simply because I knew how much good they had done for my own family. And I got involved then as a board member and have continued to be a board member literally since about 1996.
Wow. And what about you, ma'am?
Well, I started out as a volunteer. My dad, Mr. F.O. Tyler, was a part of the beginning founders of Meals on Wheels, and I did volunteer work delivering meals on the east side for the program back in my college days. Then once I moved back to Sealy, my friend Carolyn Bilski I volunteered under Buddy Chance, and he was getting ready to retire. So my friend Carolyn Bilski asked me would I want to be director, and I said, well, I got to ask the Lord about that. And so I came back and I said yes. And it has been a very rewarding job.
And I understand you girls knew each other in high school.
That's correct.
Yes.
Class of 1971, Sealy High School. Yep, we were classmates.
There you go. All right. So after the involved, oh, what am I clicking here? Oh Lord. All right. So you guys were going to tell me about helping the elderly, the different things that you do. How does it impact the people you serve?
I think you have to look at it. It's not only a hot meal 5 days a week that's delivered to them. It's the human contact. It's knowing someone's checking in. And if the delivery service, because our meals come from a vendor. We do not cook. There's no preparation in our building. The meals come in, they're in coolers. There's very strict health standards on keeping them hot. They have to do temperature controls. And that meal is important. And, if they get a menu every month and they know what's on there, if there's something that either they're allergic to or they have special diets, they can get a cold sandwich or a cold meal. And the meal's important, but the human contact is even more important.
Right. That's kind of that thing. You feed the stomach, but you also have to feed the soul.
Yes.
And so doing this, can you share some of the rewarding experiences that you've had working with Meals on Wheels?
Yes. We have elderly citizens in our county that live alone, home alone. And we had one couple, the husband passed away, unfortunately, and the daughter lived in Florida. And so she made a trip to Sealy, to our office, to thank us for taking care of her father. And they actually made a monetary donation to us, too, because she said, without us being there, checking and making sure he had a meal, talking to him and conversating with him and doing welfare checks. So if for some reason a client is not there present at their home, we call the contact person, no matter where they live in the United States, and say, hey, your mom's not answering the door, your dad's not answering the door. So that extra step assures them that we at Meals on Wheels are taking care of their family, not only feeding them, but letting them know about the welfare of their family.
Say that's wonderful, because
I had a question. When they do the food, how long do they spend a little time with each person, or do they basically hand it off? Because I know time's got to be just against you. You've got so many people to feed, but you want to sit with them. Do you know what I mean? How is that handled?
It is very strategic. You have a route assigned to you, and you have a list of the clients that you're serving that day. And it is always our goal to keep that journey about an hour so that it doesn't impose. Some of them are working people. They give up their lunch hour to come do the delivery and take an early lunch hour and then eat their sandwich on the road or whatever they do to help us. So, we've got working people also. Is it a visiting thing? It's going to be a personal decision. Some of the clients may visit and the volunteer may be inclined to have time to visit that day. It's just like you and me. We might run into each other at Walmart. Sometimes we just say hi and move on because we're busy. And sometimes we might say, hey, how's your folks doing? And talk a little more. So that really is kind of a personal thing on each individual day. It can change. Now, I think probably the most important thing that we really accomplish is people can live independently, and Cookie's touched on that. But think about it. If you had to go to assisted living or to a nursing home, the extreme amounts of cost, and also just the change in a person's health and environment if they have to leave their home. We're all more comfortable in our home. And having this independence by getting a hot meal, which is nutritious, helps keep them healthy, and just the human contact, I think, helps a lot. There's no price you can put on that.
Yeah, just somebody to say, hey,
that's right.
The whole thing, I see you.
That's right.
All right. So this is all good, but I know there are challenges. Like we talked about the time and the things like that. What are some of the challenges that you guys are seeing?
Well, unfortunately, we don't have any challenges because we deliver rain, sleet, snow. It doesn't really, hamper the delivery of the meal. Our only challenge is when we have like a freeze or a, major hurricane or something that affects the delivery and preparation of the meal to be delivered to us. We sometimes have challenges with volunteers. Our volunteers, we have seasonal volunteers, and we have those that, for example, these are high school students. They come in and help in the summer. We've had the whole football team come in and help volunteer. We've had the band come over and volunteer in the summer. So we have always been blessed to have people come in. As far as volunteers, Ramon is in charge of the volunteer training, and that is us doing a physical training at the location for a company in Belleville whose employees were wanting to volunteer, but they could not get everybody to the training. So we will take the training to your company, to your business, to whatever area of business that you have to make it more convenient for you.
Right. You hear that, Austin County? No excuses.
No excuses.
No
for
excuses.
volunteers.
They will come to you. So that's good to know.
And for all of us, even in our own world, financial challenges always exist. So we do have a reliance on most of our seniors live on fixed incomes, and it is not a mandatory contribution. If they can afford to give us a little money to help provide for program income, that's wonderful. But none of these meals are based on your financial ability to pay back. And the meal costs have gone up. Just as inflation has hit all of us at home, what used to be $3 to get is now almost $5. And because we're in the Houston-Galveston Area Council, we get a bulk rate depending on how many meals are delivered in our specific category. So the price can range. I know one day I'm assigned the checks, and I said, the meals went on this invoice for 25 cents up. Well, we were less people ordered that week for whatever reason. And so then we paid a little higher price for the meal. But financially, it's always important. The paperwork being done on a timely basis has to be in the HGAC office. We have grants that we fill out. We go out and visit with Lions Club, Rotary Club, KJT, KJZT, anybody that will invite us in to talk about our program so that we continue our fundraising efforts. We have our little 2 barbecues, one in Belleville, one in Sealy. Those barbecues, we try to keep the meal really very affordable, as opposed to going up to $15 and $20 a plate, because somebody generally is kind and generous enough to buy those tickets for this whole group of seniors so they get a hot barbecue meal that day too, which is such a treat for them. So that's our challenge, is financially.
I was going to say that kind of brings us to this next slide. You see people, I mean, it looks like from everywhere giving. Mm-hmm. They give. And I noticed the one here, they donated eggs, which these days that'd be worth $5,000. But so people need to understand they can give money, they can give different
extra
things.
Garden produce. We can slip it to those that, especially the congregate people that come in on their own, they can actually, if they're capable of taking something that's given to them in garden produce, they can pick it up and take it home and use it. So, those are challenges. And then just like anything, different, somebody may forget to call that they're going to be out of town. The volunteer shows up, and it goes back to what Cookie said. Then the volunteer calls and says, nobody's answering. They may be on the floor. And then so you have this whole new outreach trying to make sure they're okay. And then, we forgot to call you. No, we're not at home this week. So, no.
And we also get donations from organizations that want to make baskets for all of our clients. Wow. We have the Peace Officers Association. They actually donate baskets for fruit in the winter for Christmas. We have some of the churches, the little kids donate and make cards, Valentine's or special occasion cards. They make placemats for our seniors so that they'll have something fresh to look at every morning when they eat their meal. So besides just the monetary, just the little donations from organizations within the county are also special to our seniors.
I was going to say that was one of the things that I saw. I'm going on your Facebook page, and I saw that which I'm probably not be able to find it now. It showed a table full of cards.
Yes.
Done by Cat Spring kiddos. Yeah, of course I can't find
St.
them.
John's. They did the cutest Valentines last year. They were so nice.
Oh, I guess I could go into the pictures. Anyway, okay.
One thing I want to add to,
No, go ahead.
I think it's really important, is our largest benefactors, which we have a wall showing the ones that continue to just be part of our legacy program. Sam and Mary Jo Johnson of happy memory left us a very generous endowment with some stock with the bank. So that's an ongoing endowment for us, and we want to honor their memory, Sam and Mary Jo Johnson. The Selman Trust and the Levine Foundation, those two continue to honor us with legacy donations also. Roy Monarchy Trust, the Bluebonnet Society members always seem to find us on their donation list. And then Kid Woodruff Foundation, which is part of the Gates Foundation. We've just been blessed. And then we actually have some churches that make a regular collection to us. And then we have a couple of businesses that do their memorials. And one of their patrons passes away. Instead of sending an expensive plant, they make a donation. Then we send that family a card acknowledging the donation that was received. So that's a great idea. Yeah, it's fabulous.
It makes you feel like you've done a little something more than just buying a plant.
That's right.
Okay, how many people are currently on your service? That was a question I had.
On an average right now, we're averaging anywhere from 240 to 250 clients a month.
Many? I did not know that. I was thinking 50, 60.
No, we serviced over 16,000 meals. So the last 4 months, from October to even currently this month in January, we served 16,684 meals to those clients here in Austin County. So it is a very needed service.
Yeah. I had no idea.
Yeah.
I had no idea. Here, Greg, put that up real quick. I was going to show them there are the cards. That was from the Youth in Cat Spring.
Yes.
So that's a good thing to know for the school teachers out there in the Sunday school classes. They could just make cards that even just say,
Our Catholic youth did a Christmas card for the kids this year, the Catholic Church in Sealy.
That's
so, yes, those little tidbits mean a lot to some, especially if they don't have any grandchildren or anybody else to send them their art. So I love that.
Yes. And then Tony Tanaskas also donates 70 meals from Tony's once a month to our seniors that are homebound. So we want to thank Tony too for giving back to the community, because it's all about helping one another. We're not a handout. We are a hand up to help others. So it takes a village, and everybody in the county is so receptive to helping us provide services to our seniors.
All right. And I'm sure you're going to tell me this, but I'm jumping the gun. What are the ages that you get on Meals on Wheels? Like,
our requirement through HGAC is you must be a senior 60 plus or a veteran 60 plus. We do have a program to fund for people that are referred to us through Health and Human Services or APS or some other social services, a doctor, maybe a doctor's order. If they are 50 plus, we have a program specifically for those that have hardships and disabilities that we can also service.
that's good. So y'all do a little bit of everything. I know that y'all do a whole bunch of things. Let me get to my thing here. Y'all do have volunteer training and different things. And you also collaborate. Like you named off several people who help and stuff. Who are some of the people that you collaborate with?
We have a whole list of people. We collaborate with the Veterans Affairs Office, with Compassionate Care, Texas First Home Health Care Center, Austin County Extension Agency, those services, the Austin County Emergency Disaster Preparedness Office, the Austin County Senior Fair Day, of course, always let us set up a table and advertise for our services, the Peace Officers Association, FEMA, the Sealy, Wallace, and Belleville Lions Club, the Knights of Columbus in both Sealy, Wallace, and Belleville, the Austin County Commissioner's Office, Sealy EMS, Police Department, and Fire Department. They come out and do trainings with our seniors. Of course, the Garden Library and Faith Academy. Those are just a few of the ones that come out pretty much annually to do programs for our seniors.
Here, Greg, if you'll put that up. Mm-hmm. We have, a couple of pictures of different things. Like, what were they doing in this one? Do you remember?
Yeah, she was talking to seniors about scams with your Social Security. phone scams, email scams, letters that they get in the mail that are scams that are not part of the federal Social Security program itself.
And those scammers are getting so good. I mean, you can't even,
Sophisticated, very.
you can't tell if it's Amazon. And what's bad is like they try to scare you with the IRS and all that. I mean, I feel so sorry for the elderly with that.
Yeah. And then we had, we know Michelle. She came and visited with us.
Yes, Michelle comes out. She did actually a 6-week program with our seniors talking about health and nutrition, things that they could do at home. They actually got to learn about the sugars and the salts and the high protein and what they can and should not eat. They also got to prepare a salad of all nutritious foods so that they can learn to eat healthier at home. And that was with our congregate program. So
I was just saying that's so important. A lot of people don't realize, there's a lot of stuff in your kitchen that you can cook that is nutritious if you know how to put it together. But not everybody knows how to put it together. And then that kind of leads us into, besides delivering meals, what else does Meals on Wheels do? What else do y'all offer?
I want to back up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
One more little thing, that the logistics, so that if volunteers are thinking, I don't want to drive to Sealy to deliver meals to industry, we actually have a warehouse in Belleville where meals go to Belleville. The people do not have to drive to Sealy to be a volunteer for the routes in the west end of the north end of the county. And same thing with the south. Those meals are dropped off in Wallace. So those volunteers do not have to drive to Sealy every day. But if you are in the RSVP, the Retired Senior Program, and sign up, you can get your mileage reimbursed, and they have a very wonderful program to help make the volunteers have a little extra incentive to help be part of the volunteer program.
Carol,
those are huge.
You said logistics. That makes me wonder. Okay, so, all right, first off, that one place in Sealy takes care of Austin County?
That's where our administrative office is.
Okay, that's the administrator. Is there like a sub hub or something in any area, the other area?
Just that warehouse in Belleville where one of the coordinators there makes sure those meals are distributed. The volunteers show up there in Belleville to make their meals in their coolers.
Take me through this. So the meals come in the morning?
The meals come to our office from TRIO, which is Valley Services, and they're our contracted food vendors. So the meals come in from their location, which is in Houston.
What time? And I mean, when I say this, I'm curious.
They start cooking about 3 or 4 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
So the food is piping hot. The first stop in our county is in Wallace. So there's a drop point in Wallace. So, and the food comes in big coolers with hot bricks under the bottom. So
if people were in Wallace, they would come there and start picking up to start distributing? Is what you're saying?
Our volunteer meets them in Wallace.
Okay.
The food vendor in Wallace. And then they offload the coolers onto her vehicle, and they go to the community and deliver the meals from that point to each client on our roster. Then she comes to Sealy, and she drops meals in Sealy, which are for the Sealy, the Cat Spring, and also for San Philip area. And those, we have at least 4 routes for Sealy. We have 1 for Cat Springs. And then we have our congregate group of people who come into the office to eat every day. And once she leaves Sealy, then she goes on to Belleville, and she drops meals there in Belleville, where the volunteers go to the warehouse, pick up the meals, and they deliver meals all the way out from Kinney, all the way out to Welcome in the West End area. They also deliver meals at the Coshada RV Ranch, and they deliver within the city of Belleville itself, all the way out to Cochran, all the way out to Kinney, and all the way out to 36 right there in Belleville. So it's a huge area. Now, I do want to mention that the West End area is one of the most rural areas in our county. The volunteers that deliver in the West End area drive on an average of 75 miles to deliver meals. That is a round trip delivery for them in the West End area.
Let's see.
And
West End is
all the way to Welcome.
There you go.
Yeah, Welcome, all the way to Shelby, New Ulm Industry, the Milheim area. That is all.
Austin County.
It's not undoable, but I'm thinking every day. Yeah, I mean,
It's different people.
Right.
Yes, some do it one day a
But
month, some do
still, the logistics between this that y'all are
keeping
dealing
everything
with.
straight is just unbelievable.
It takes a team. Our staff are very, very good. One lady does all the logistics so that if you decide to volunteer, say you want to volunteer for West End, because they are so spread out on tons and tons of acreage, she logistically takes you from Belleville to every drop point so that you don't really backtrack.
Okay.
We do that for every route, even those in Sealy. Start at point A and you go all the way through each one of your clients to make the route seamless, number one, and it keeps you from backtracking.
I was going to say, this is what you're talking about? Greg, you can put that in.
Alan, you want to go full screen?
Yeah, please. You were talking about drop points. Is that
Yes, that's the warehouse in Belleville,
all right?
and that's one of our drop points.
Okay, and then they come and
They come and load up everything in their vehicles, and the meals come on. They're very hot. We take the temperature in Sealy before everything goes out, so we have criteria for temperature control.
does. But I thought that was interesting. Then there was another picture I saw. It was a gentleman. He was on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Like a moped.
Yeah.
He was at, I'm going to tell you, Austin County, you need to go look at these pictures. It's amazing, all of the things that they do. This is one of those things I could talk for hours and hours, but I'm going to hush, and I'm going to let you ladies, let's go back to how you talked about the people who come in
Yes.
to
Our congregate program.
congregate program, all right, and what exactly is that?
Those are seniors that are they're physically fit, able to drive into our office, and they come in every day. So they're not homebound. So they come in, they pick up their meals. We have the fun days on Wednesday and Friday. They come in, they play dominoes, do puzzles, they do bingo. We lost a lot of our congregate in-house people coming in during COVID. So we are a facility available for games and all types of fun. And those guys come in faithfully every Wednesday and play dominoes and cards. So if you're able to drive and you just want to come pick up your meal and sit down and eat, that's fine. We're open.
I was just saying, if somebody wants to just come in and sit and visit,
That's great.
okay.
Sure.
So if you just feel the need to, hey, I want to go visit with somebody, and I keep talking too much,
I
but
didn't hear when were the times? When is,
here, I
did
can
they
tell you.
come
Congregate program is from 10 a.m. to 1.
to 1? Okay.
Yeah, and we get popular in the summer because it's really hot. Come in and enjoy our air conditioning. In the winter, come in and enjoy our heat and our company.
And I was going to say, and enjoy the people, because, excuse me, you would be astounded the stories that people can tell.
Yeah.
You get somebody that's a veteran and they're telling you amazing stories.
I want to bring up one more thing that people have brought to my attention is they were like, well, I don't really want everybody in the world to know my business. This is a very confidential thing. Each volunteer is instructed. You're not allowed to go and talk. Well, Miss So-and-so is not there today because she went to the doctor, or such and such happened, or whatever. You go through a training program that basically impresses on you that everybody's business is very confidential, and it's up to them to tell you what they can. Even pictures, we get permissions before we take pictures or do anything. And not only is it about delivering meals, if you're a volunteer and you're not able to get in and out of the vehicle and you want to come answer the phone, you want to be part of telephone reassurance, if you want to help file, there's so many things you can do. And, we've been really blessed. Some of our best volunteers have gotten in a little minor scrape, and they have community service, and they come sweep and wash the windows, and they do other things. So we appreciate those judges that honor our program with their simple mistake people that need to do a little community service.
What was telephone reassurance?
Telephone is calling every day, say, hey, how are you? I'm just checking in and Sometimes they want to talk, sometimes they don't, but at least they know someone's checked on them that day.
That'd be good for me. I love to talk.
And that brings us to another point. When we do our telephone reassurance, a lot of times people will say, well, it's hot. I don't have a fan. We have contact and networks through our assistance program through HGAC and Combined Community Services where we can provide fans. We've had services where people needed a repair porch. Thanks to the Eagle Scouts, they went out and repaired porches. We've had some people with needing a roof. We were able to network with another facilities network to provide roofs for people. We also have a portion of the HGAC program for assistance where they have gone into homes and actually remodeled the bathroom, took out the tub, and made it handicap accessible for people. We've done fine walkers, wheelchairs, just you name it. Whatever people say they need when we do our telephone reassurance program, we will find a network and service or provider to provide those entities for them. So
y'all, I mean, that's a challenge to Austin County. You can't say, I don't have anything to give.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
You have something to give.
right, yes.
There's no getting around that.
And you get as much as you give.
Right.
The truth is the rewards are just as a two-way street in any way you want to look at it. You're going to feel so good and you're going to gain and feel, and as I said, you get as much as you give.
Yeah, because I'm talking to older people is always fascinating.
Wisdom.
Yes, and the stories that they can tell. My husband talked to a gentleman, found out he had been a bootlegger. He's a much older gentleman. He had been a bootlegger and had run illegal moonshine, and it's something you wouldn't expect to hear from somebody, and found out that interesting story.
Oh, the one when you talked to the one guy who was actually was in Normandy.
Yeah.
It was like wave 3, or you know what I mean? One of the waves that made it. And it was, I mean, those kind of stories are just incredible.
They're invaluable. Yes. They really are invaluable because that's history. But, okay, I'm going to turn it back over to y'all. Okay. How can Austin County help you? List it out.
We've pretty well covered
You got it? Okay.
I think, like I said, if you can't get in and out of your car, if we have a dance instructor that wants to come to exercise classes with the congregate group, run the bingo, there's just so many things that people can do, and not necessarily means that they're carrying the cooler into the house to put it and meet with somebody that way. There's so many ways that they can help us.
Well, Carol, it sounds almost like y'all are even if somebody's got a neat idea they'd like to try, they have
Yes.
When you said dance list, this made me think if they've got a talent they'd like to share,
Right.
approach y'all, and y'all are
Sure.
willing to listen.
Absolutely.
And how many people come for your congregate program usually?
It varies based on the weather because
Okay.
most seniors have doctor's appointments. So one day we may have 10, one day we may have 3. It just depends on the weather and their schedules.
And then your drop and goes. And then we have people that just basically pick up their food and it's a drop and go. They have other obligations. Maybe they're, still obligated, like you said, doctor's appointments or whatever, and they still come get their meal and say hello, check in, and then move on. Yeah. They don't have to stay and visit if they don't want to.
Yeah, we have quite a few patients that are on dialysis, and they come in after they get their treatments. They just drive up. We take the meal to them out the door, and they can leave. So we just provide whatever you need as a senior that we can help you with. We will make the.
Well, that's such because I know taking care of people who had dialysis, they're tired.
Yes.
They are tired. There's so many, they do their dialysis, they want to eat, and they go to bed.
Yes.
It wipes them. So, yeah, I understand.
All right. I guess one of the last questions is, if I'm a senior and I want to get into the program, do I just pick up the phone and call you?
You just pick up the phone and you call us at our phone number, 979-885-4188. Our office closes at 2. So if our office is closed, you can leave your name and phone number, and the next day we will call you back. Or if you go to our web page, there's a section on our web page that says you can request. We have people that go to our website and where it says contact at the top, click that button, and then you can fill out that contact form and tell us what your needs are. Every morning we get those, and as long as we get that information, we'll give you a call back. Because we are Austin County, we get a lot of requests from other areas that are not in our county, and we just do a referral. So,
Okay, so they have the different menus, which I have to tell you a funny story. My husband is a nurse, and he just yesterday, he had a lady, I made like a wellness call for her, and she said, hold on, my meal's here. And so it was Meals on Wheels, and she came back and she goes, it's Salisbury steak again. And she said, and my husband laughed when I told him y'all were coming in today. He goes, we have to tell him you have at least one person, now this is in Houston, that says Salisbury steak again. But he laughed.
You know, you want to real quick go over their website form real quick and let us see their that way people can become familiar with it.
Right. Okay. So here's your website. Like you said, it's home. And then
Mealsonwheels.org.
oh yes, yeah. Mealsonwheels.org, and we'll have that listed at the end.
we are currently going to update some of our information on our website. We have a conference coming up in 2 weeks, Meals on Wheels of Texas, which I will be attending. And with that, we will update a lot of the information that you see on our website once we attend that conference.
So it has all about you. Here are the services you can get. So basically everything we talked about, you can look and find here. You have a read more, learn more. And then here's if you want to volunteer.
Yes.
Hint, hint, Austin County.
Yes.
You want to volunteer. As you can see, you're never too young or too old to volunteer.
Yes.
And here's your confidentiality training that y'all were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Those on Wheels in the news. And I know that especially your widows and widowers, they've lost the love of their life. And maybe their children are grown, and, you know, we're all guilty of it. You think, I'm going to call, or even a neighbor. You think, I'm going to call, and then you don't. And so that's good to know that somebody does, because we all get lonely.
Yes.
And not everybody's lucky enough to have a cat or a dog.
Yes.
You know?
True. That's true.
So anyway, well, Greg, you have any more questions for him? Yeah. Ladies, you have any parting words?
Just want to thank you all for having us today. Hope that the county will be aware and have more in-depth about our program. And if anybody has any questions, they can call us, and we'll be glad to assist anybody. If you want to have, we tell people all the time, you have neighbors or friends who need our services, just give us a call.
Okay.
We're very blessed. I mean, this is the most generous community, most kindest, caring people that you could ever expect to be able to work with and share. Our churches, nonprofits, American Legion, just could go on and on. I don't know we've left somebody off the list of benefactors, but, if someone gives us $5, that's their generosity giving out of their heart for whatever. And we're just very, very blessed. And we feel like it is a ministry. God's put us together at this time for a special reason.
Yes.
And
good.
we're going to do what we can to honor him and his will.
Wonderful. Well, Austin County, there it is. There's your charge. Get out there and help the Meals on Wheels program in any way you can. And until next time, keep smiling.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.